This is where the version of me I've always written about finally begins to exist. For so long, she lived between the pages and the letters I wrote to my future self, in the dreams I didn't feel ready to live yet. And now this version of me, she is not perfect, but she's brave enough to try. Brave enough to carry the dreams I used to doubt I could hold. It's about noticing that even here, even now, I'm already a little bit closer than I was before. This is me in the middle of becoming. Welcome to Project Her.
Welcome guys to the 2025 Reset Diaries. We have everything we need here. Things we'll talk about, reflections, everything that happened in 2025. I've got everything now written, ready to kind of discuss what came true, what didn't come true, things that I'm changing, things that I went differently, my 2025 to 2026 goals. Before we start the deep process, I actually want to show you guys my 2026 journal. She is here. I got an embroidered journal. I love that it's embroidered. Absolutely stunning. It celebrates growth. I love the pages inside. This is like a nice thick page. Look at this little embroidered flower. You know, hopefully maybe this time I can write sentences in here. Usually I use this journal for my brain dumps. All my journals never make sense. They're never written out really nicely. Most of my journals are just brain dumps. And I bought a bullet planner because looking over my 2025 goals, I've realized that there are certain habits that I still am doing that I want to get rid of. So I kind of want to have a bullet planner where I write down the habits that I want to bring in a 2026. Each page, I want this to be habits, things I want to implement in 2026. And then my favorite 2025 pickup of the year, I actually wrote things inside of this. Pockets of Wisdom journal. I know how to journal now. I figured out the system that works for me and how to journal properly, effectively, and things that actually work. I got this for my birthday as a gift. So my journals, guys, I want to talk about how journaling isn't supposed to be aesthetic. See these Pinterest pictures? As much as I would love to write like this is not journaling. The real journaling, the actual ones, if you really want journaling to work, get whatever's in this head of yours on paper properly and just forget about it. This is how you do it. I fell into the trap of having such a beautiful written journal. It did not work because that pretty journal was just for the aesthetic. Really and truly, what was going in my head wasn't pretty and aesthetic because some of it, guys, doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to look like this, messy, the handwriting is kind of off center. My journaling process here is split into 3 sections. The first one is my brain dump. This is a section where I freely write whatever's in my head. Maybe I'm going through something, I'm overthinking a new project, something's happened. My brain is only processing information. A thought comes into my head, maybe I'm stressed out about something. My brain is spiraling before it actually happens. So I'm worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. We all have those times where that happens to us. That's the first bit. You brain dump that information, you write everything down. Then gonna read it back. Usually when you read back journals or pages or entries, you end up finding out there's a certain bit of information. Even if it's just 2 or 3 sentences, you end up finding a pattern. Perhaps there's a habit that you need to get rid of, or maybe it's because you were procrastinating on this thing, that's why you feel that way. So you're writing it down, you're gonna ask yourself 3 questions. What's been taking up the most of my mental space lately? This isn't labeling as a bad thing, guys. We all have moments where we relapse into habits or things that we should have got rid of before. And most of the time, I specifically don't want to spend majority of my time in my head, and I don't want to spend majority of my time on things I don't have control over. So if I need to write it down, it needs to go. Some of the things you think about are not even things you should be thinking about. It should just pass through. But sometimes we internalize that feeling and then it ends up controlling us. But this particular thing, you need to get rid of it. Get rid of this habit. What I'm doing is seeing myself in a different perspective. Yes, I'm looking at this brain dump like, how dare you think about this? It is hard to not judge myself in this brain dump as I'm thinking, I thought we got over this. I could talk about the topic a lot of times because this year there are things. Why are we relapsing? You then ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? Do I need rest? Do I need to take more action? Am I procrastinating on this particular project? Let me get it done. Or am I stressing about something that has no control over? Right, so what do we need to do about that? This is my favorite question, guys. After that brain dump, I'm like, okay, you know what? Actually, what I do need right now is rest. I've been procrastinating so much on this project that it's kind of stressing me out because I haven't done anything. So let me set my alarm for 5 minutes and just start. Whatever I can do in those 5 minutes, I'll push forward. If I genuinely cannot do that 5 minutes, I need rest. At least get something done today. So now that's the first section of journaling, which works because majority of the time there are habits I want to build and get rid of. So sometimes I relapse into my old habits, but then I know exactly what I need to do. So that 3-step process, I'm already feeling 100 times better. Whatever's in my head, I need to release it. And if releasing it means writing it down, doing it this way helps me release those emotions, because now I'm not internalizing this emotion anymore. Whatever's happened, I can let go of, because I kind of find it hard to let things go. Saying it's going to be okay, we're still saying that for 3-4 days. So we've got to stop the cycle. Not every single night, but most nights. Sometimes I forget. What habits or actions supported my growth today? Not next week, not last night, today. So if last night I didn't do what I needed to do, what habits or actions supported my growth today? This is all the habits or things that I'm moving towards my dream lifestyle. Am I moving in that direction? The actions that you have today is what shapes you in 10 years' time. So if you're not self-aware with what you do on a daily basis, that dream lifestyle is non-existent. You're not going to wake up one day and live that dream reality that you want to live if you're not self-aware enough to understand what you're doing. Everybody has off days, but even if I have an off day, I can name 3 things I did today that was better than I did yesterday, if we're moving in that same direction. If I'm moving towards my dream lifestyle step by step, I really push myself to my fullest potential that day. But then there are days where I do absolutely nothing. But at least the days that I did do amazingly well, I have a record of them. I have a record of them in this journal. I have a record. If you're not self-aware with what you're going to do today, you're not going to know what you're going to do tomorrow. But then again, I also follow my own cycle syncing, which is something that also changed the game for me when it comes to doing work or even being productive, because working with my cycle, I now know there are days when I don't have the capacity to push myself. But then there are days where I feel amazing. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So I can set my task accordingly to what my cycle is giving. So after I've asked myself the habits, okay, I can now see what I've done, and then I can see what I didn't do, and I just add that on. So that is my journaling for 2025. That is how I journal. I feel that my brain is overstimulated with too much information. We're not internalizing any of that information. We're just letting it sit, which is why we're all spiraling out of control. I only started this 3 months ago. It was very recent. It's called Pockets of Wisdom. I just named that. I just think it's a cool name. So I don't just write down the information, I kind of relate it to my own life. So I think, okay, this person has said this thing. How does that relate to what I can learn about this? Whatever I learn is in here. Okay, so I can read it back. And also sometimes I can ask people to write in it, which I think I want to do that actually. It'd be really cool. This is the journal where we can have a little bit of, inspo that I'm kind of going for. This journal can be pretty, that's fine, because this is information that we're trying to internalize and we can read back. Whenever I'm spiraling or something's going on, this is the journal I can pick up, because you don't need anyone to tell you what to do, you just need to do it. I'm very meticulous of what I want to write inside of this journal. So yeah, that is the 2025 edition, which is also going to be added to 2026 because there's only 1 or 2 pages I've written in here. That is my journaling process for the whole year, which is the reason why 80% of my vision board came true. So that is how I journal for 2025 and 2024. So it's been 2 years since I've been journaling using this method, and it works. And that's how we've achieved my 2025 vision. That is the first year I've actually seen the journaling process manifest in real life. I started writing future to me letters, so kind of what I wanted to achieve in a year, what I wanted to do. www.futuretome.com, the website. You write everything that you want to write and then you send it by email, or you can write a handwritten version. I do both, but I love the email one because it just comes at the perfect time. It was written in December 5th, 2024. The yearly one is encompassing everything I wanted to achieve, everything I wanted to achieve this year. I am a woman of unwavering faith, and 2025 was a year that redefined my life. I won't read everything out because some things were personal and some things I wrote that were habits that I wanted to get rid of. The first kind of paragraph was me talking about establishing routines, a spiritual routine specifically. That was something I really wanted to focus on this year, was establishing a routine spiritually that would keep me grounded. For example, lines like, I designed a slow, intentional morning routine that helps me calm down and give me clarity. So I write this letter like I've already achieved it. I did this, I did that. If I don't have a morning routine and I just wake up in a rush, I would say, I designed a slow morning routine to help me do X, Y, and Z, even though it hasn't been done yet, but I would put it in my head that I've already done this. So when I read this back, if I haven't done it, it's just a disappointment to me. That's how badly I wanted to do it. There's about 8 lines of the first sentences that I'm just describing routines. I didn't have a morning routine or even a night routine, just establishing a routine that works, genuinely works for me, because I really needed that. And then some of it was social media, some of it was doing a YouTube channel and growing to certain subscriber counts, which I didn't really do yet. So that's one of my goals we'll add into that for 2026. To about how I wanted to eat more healthy, which I did do. That's something I would say is a win. Speaking about routines, that didn't happen at the beginning of the year. Once 2024 ended, that was when things were haywire. Really didn't know what I wanted to do. Those months were chaos in my mind, because just like I explained, when your emotions take over you, they really take over you. Last year it was discipline, focusing on getting routines, getting into habit, doing the simple things, because I couldn't clearly do that. And then this year is execution. But I did do that. However, I felt like I still was holding myself back a lot this year. I seen it in the way I was writing this. I wanted discipline this year. I wanted to focus and really put myself into action mode. I wanted to do things, get things done, and move on to the next. But clearly, the getting things done bit, I could have done a lot more. So 2026, I want to get rid of all the doubts. I want to close them in a box and close those doubts. 4 letters to the future. Each of them has its own significance. The first one is my end of year letter, which is a letter to 2024. So I usually write a letter to 2025, everything that happened this year, in a nice little box. This is what we did, what we achieved, the improvements that we want to work on, what 2025 gave. Was it absolute chaos? Was it okay? Was it your best year ever? Was it alright? Was it so bad that you don't want to talk about it? We're gonna have to do this part, because if you don't do this part, the other letters don't make sense. It's my favorite letter of all time, my 6-month letter. So guys, my 6-month letter is my favorite letter to write. Every year I focus on one habit. I look at my entire vision board and I see perhaps maybe there is something that there's on this vision board that we just don't seem to do. Usually the 6-month letter is never big. Guys, it's never a big thing. The reason why I call it 6-month letter is because you only need 6 months or even less than that to change a specific habit, to change your life in that section. Maybe it's doing a project that you've always wanted to do, but you just can't commit to it. So you commit to that the first 6 months of the year. I kind of do the first 6 months because the last 6 months of the year is usually different. Some things change. We go through different things. That's why I love to commit to doing it the first 6 months of the year. You could really ask yourself the question of, why don't I do it the last 6 months of the year? But I think it's really inconvenient because life happens, guys. You know, when you get to summer, June, July, even when you get to June and July, my habits or life plans change around that time. Whatever I was doing the first 6 months of the year, I completely do a 180 and do something different, or my dreams in life change, or sometimes the direction that I want to go with end up changing, because anything can happen in those 6 months. So whatever that 6-month letter is, that's the one you work on. So my 6-month letter was getting over the fear of being seen and just posting online. If you were to achieve this certain goal, what would life look like? The feelings of achieving that particular goal. So if it's the fear of being seen, then what would it feel like if I didn't care what people think? What would life be like if I just posted without having to worry about what people think? What would I feel? How would I be more confident? Would I feel more better? Would I love posting again? Would I love content? Would I find it fun? Those type of emotions. January 2025 was the worst month of my life. I hated January. The opposite of what not being afraid of being seen. I did the opposite, guys. I was all in over my head. Guys, this project was supposed to start in January. I was supposed to start this beautiful Project Her Diaries. This whole project was supposed to start at the beginning of the year. It took 11 months to finally begin it. Now, did it need to take 11 months? No, it didn't need to take 11 months. But what happened was life took me in different directions. I just started off the year with so much doubt. Don't know where it came from, because we started YouTube in November 2024, and then I was posting. November didn't really count because I was proud that I posted then, because I didn't want to just start in January. February was okay, was also not great, but I don't know what happened to me. I just had this wave of doubts that clearly took over because I barely was posting in January or February. If I keep going on like this, we will not achieve the 6-month letter. So I knew that the letter was about the fear of being seen, but I took it as a TikTok mini series that I made, and I started posting little snippets. March and April got better. Yeah, I had this idea since January, but it was never executed until now, which is okay. I'm glad I started now. I have so much more preparation, so much more content to give you guys, but it took 11 months to figure it out. And I didn't need to take this long, no, but I just kept procrastinating. I was like, no, we'll start later. We'll start January 2026. As much as I enjoyed achieving most of my vision board, what I didn't like this year was that my emotions took over me. When I turned 24, the first line of my birthday letter, which is the next part, which is my catch-up letter of like age-wise, like what do we do age-wise? The first line was, I hope we're on our 50th episode. I hope we're still doing it. It did not happen. 50th episode? What are you talking about? And I said, oh, you're talking about the Project Her Diaries, right? That didn't happen. But word of the year is execution. 2026 is execution error, like a business. You know how businesses execute, and you're just going to be seeing things back to back, because we're not starting January 1st, because January is already around the corner. And I know January this year was not it. Those last 6 months were the best times because I felt that I needed to push myself, which we did, and we got things done. We finished the 75 days. We started eating healthy. We got my new camera. It felt like things were looking up the last 6 months of the year. This is the first part of the journaling process. I want to take you guys along my whole reset diary. This is the first bit, kind of reflecting one-on-one on what the hell happened this year.
Hey guys, I've been up since 6 and the time it's been 4 hours. I have written so much, it is insane. And this is just my 2025 reflection. I'm telling you guys, it is the most longest piece of writing I've ever done in my life. I felt that I wrote a book. This is my audit of 2025. That means the 6-month letter has to be strong. I print all my vision board stuff on free prints. So last year I bought duplicates of some of the vision boards. Some of these look like this. One kind of vision that I have is to get a jewelry. Vintage jewelry is something I really want to invest in. Some really nice pieces. Definitely want to recreate like jewelry stacks. This is something I'm bringing into 2026 because I'm just obsessed with jewelry, guys. I want a stack of jewelry to wear. I need to get the pictures before the end of this week, so I need to figure out the pictures by today or tomorrow, which we'll do together. I am so inspired to do this as a video diary. So inspired to do the video diary. Genuinely, I am so inspired to do the video diary. I literally cannot wait to write it out. I need to do a video diary. I need to just talk it out because writing it right now, this is just a self-reflection letter. I haven't even gone into my goals yet. This is what I mean when I say, guys, I audit my life. I audit my life. I sit there and I write out my true feelings, what's inside of me, and I feel that whatever's inside is gone and now we're fresh, ready to actually plan out my 6-month goals. I'll show you guys this part because this part is the goal bit. But I identified 3 pillars from my 2025 letter that I could see that I want to struggle on and make it my 6-month goal and something I should work on. So I look back at maybe my journal list, which everyone should have. I look at my journals and I see from that list what are things I haven't been making enough to on, what are things I haven't been doing enough speaking on, or what are things I've neglected. Because whatever I've written down my journals, they change as time goes on. So if there's still things that I still want to make journal for, then that must be important. Or maybe I've neglected some or forgot about some. So I kind of like to go back. I like to tick it off each ones that have come true. And then from there, you can then start writing out section by section, what do you want 2026 to look like? The video diary will come out in the 2nd quarter of the year. The year is split into 4 quarters. So you've got January to March, April to June, July to September, October to December. So my 6-month letter will come just at the end of the 2nd quarter. So when the 3rd quarter comes in, which is the summer, which is a perfect time because summer is more of we don't do goal settings there. Summer is relaxation. It gives me enough time to look back at my vision board to see what came true. It also gives me enough time to look at my vision board and see what action steps I can take for the last September to December is our grinding moment. That's when we grind the most, but the summer we don't. We are going to go out, get all the equipment that we need for the vision board, and I'll see you guys in the afternoon.
So guys, welcome back to the reset diaries. Yeah, I got the earrings on, I've got the hijab on, straightened. Are you guys guessing what I'm ready for? Video diary. This is how I look now. I really want a video diary in the best state possible, so I put on my little blazer. We have now written out the first letter. Technically, we're going to do these 2 in 1. So we're going to do the year 2026 execution error, and then we're going to do the 6-month letter. Everything that happened in 2025 is over. Now we are preparing for 2026. What do we want to achieve in 6 months? So let's first start off with the 6-month letter. We are going to do it as a video diary. I'm also going to write it up. Okay guys, I got all the cameras set up. And guys, let me show you my setup. I have my MacBook connected to the phone and the phone is connecting to the MacBook. I think it's so cute to do a FaceTime call, so it's exactly what I'm recording. Anyways, this is my first time doing a video diary. I am afraid. This is very much real. This is real. Sometimes play games. Like my letters are cute. They're cute, but now this is taking it up a notch. I feel that we need to do this. Guys, I am so excited, so let's get started.